Hey there, Hoops fans. How you doing? It's your boy Jonathan Macri coming at you on a dreary Monday for a fresh episode of NBA Takedown. Haven't seen you in a hot minute. I think it's been about a week and a half, but we had to wait for the biggest domino in free agency to topple over, and that happened today as Rui Hachimura decided to remain in sunny Los Angeles, albeit in a different uniform. I am here with a couple of esteemed gentlemen who I trust had a good 4th of July weekend and have just been generally enjoying themselves. Jeff Johnson, how are you?
Chilling, man, chilling. Wish the day looked better outside, but I guess that's the price we pay for the June from heaven.
It was a June from heaven. My daughter's in a youngest daughter's in a
Did we
summer
lose
camp.
John?
What?
No, he's right there. He's talking.
Oh.
Is Shawn not?
You froze for me, but you're back now.
Well, as long as one of us hears you. I was saying my daughter, my youngest daughter's in a 3-hour summer camp that because of the rain and like the parking situation at the camp, I spent about an hour and a half total with drop off and pick up. So I feel like the equation, it's not quite working out in my favor there. For whatever this is worth. Hi, Shawn. How are you?
I'm good. I echo Jeff's sentiments. June in New York City was one like we have never seen before. The Knicks winning the championship, the World Cup, the Puerto Rican Day Parade. And it spilled over into July because July 4th was an especially good one from the pictures I saw on social media. And someone said, shout out to Eurosports, who tweeted that the NYPD must be sick of us. But you know what they're not sick of? That overtime. They're not sick of that.
Oh, no.
It was cool. I was at a gathering for 4th of July weekend with just some like random people, and the Knicks just randomly came up, and people like talking about the run. And I was there with someone who was a New York City public school teacher last year, and they were telling me how they proposed having a everybody wear blue and orange day to their principal, like on a random day in June. And everybody showed up in blue and orange, and how there was like a group of like giant group of 4th grade boys during recess that just carried on a "Let's Go Knicks" chant for like 20 minutes. And there was yet another tear came to my eye. So it's been pretty good times. We haven't checked in a while. We haven't talked since before free agency, right?
No, we haven't.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to do a little winners and losers today. But before we get there, I will just say we're now a week into this. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Free agency started last Tuesday. Shawn, I'll go to you first. Is there a domino that you're waiting to see fall over that has not fallen over yet? Other than LeBron. We'll talk about LeBron later.
That's the domino.
That's the only domino? Okay.
Yeah, that's the domino. When you said the biggest names of free agency have moved, I was like, wait a minute, you forgot about the guy who's going to make sure that he is the last domino to fall. And it wouldn't surprise me if it was on this Friday, because I believe July. When was the decision? Was it July 10th? I think it was July 10th.
9th or 10th.
Yeah, July 10th, 2010. So it wouldn't surprise me, but yeah, this is going to be drawn out for a while.
I think so too. Jeff, are you waiting on any non-LeBron thing?
Actually, no. I think everything shook out the way it needed to shake out. And now you're going to get those veteran signings, those lesser deals. And I think one thing people should consider is that in this parity era, I don't think free agency is dead anymore, because while you don't get the big names moving, you get the second and third tier in the middle class of the NBA either moving on trades on restricted free agent offer sheets or unrestricted, where depth matters. So where they go is ultimately going to matter. It's not as sexy as the major free agent signings from yesteryear, but it still matters with roster construction.
I mean, the biggest free agent to change teams via free agency, at least if you go by average annual dollars. I'm actually going to ask you guys this. See if you can name the biggest one, but by average annual dollars.
In this free agency window?
In this free agency, well, there's biggest by total contract to change teams, again, via free agency. And then there's biggest via average annual dollars. Two different.
I would say, well, technically Walker Kessler doesn't count because he was a trade.
Well,
I
wait,
count.
so he doesn't count because he's a trade.
He's not free. He wasn't a free agent. He was traded, and then he signed.
He signed with Utah, and they traded him to LA.
Yeah,
for the picks. That's
okay. Okay. So then I would say it's Walker Kessler. Then, if it's technically
it's not. Walker Kessler's not allowed because he was.
So
not,
sign-in trades do not count for
do not
this
count
exercise.
Exactly. Yes.
Then it's Quentin Grimes.
Quentin Grimes is the answer for most total dollars. $60 million over 4 years.
Who got more than $15 million a year?
There are technically 3 players that got more than $15 million a year, although one deserves an asterisk because it's a glorified 1-year deal.
Does Trae Young count?
Norm Powell is one of the answers. He got 2 for 45, although the second year is not guaranteed. Trae Young did not switch teams. We're talking about who switched teams. So there's 2 other guys who got more than $15 million a year, one of which we know very well.
Mitch?
Mitch is one of them, and the other one is John Collins with the Detroit Pistons. But think about the names that we just said who switched teams via free agency. Norm Powell, Mitchell Robinson, John Collins, Quentin Grimes. You want to throw Mamu in there, that's fine. There's one all-star appearance between all of those dudes, and it's Norm Powell last year. You know, we could talk about Tobias Harris, got actually a hair over 15 a year. But again, he's never made an all-star team. Like, you nailed it. It's the middle class. The middle class might change teams. Stars no longer change teams in free agency, which is what makes the winners and losers of free agency exercise an interesting one. I just want to get right into it. So I will propose to you a statement. You guys agree or disagree?
Okay.
Is there a bigger loser in the free agency period than the Boston Celtics? And this will get us into the Jaylen Brown discussion.
I would say no. No.
Jeff?
I'm going to try to big brain it.
Big brain, like 7th best player on his team? Right. Big brain?
Oh, we won't violate. I won't violate with my calculations. Atlanta Hawks.
Interesting. Okay, frankly not a team that was in my mind for significant winner, maybe losers, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking because I've watched the East shuffle the deck and assemble the Legion of Doom ever since the Knicks won the title. And the one team that beat the Knicks the most in the playoffs hasn't really done anything.
The one team that took the most games off the Knicks in these playoffs, yes, did not really do anything. They added a notable rookie, and they did get Aaron Wiggins from OKC essentially for free, which is not nothing.
Okay, they didn't do enough.
I have them.
They didn't do anything that's earth shattering. They should not be 10th. Is my point. After this cycle on paper, for what they accomplished, they should not be 10th.
And it's also they also are going to. Well, it looks like they're going to lose Jonathan Kuminga because they declined his team option. So and Kuminga was like a semi-important piece for them. And like, look, in their 2 wins against the Knicks, Kuminga played well. I think you can make an argument for Atlanta. The reason why I would not make that argument is I think Atlanta is one of these teams like Charlotte, maybe like a team or two out west. We'll have to see how a few things shake out, who are perhaps using the new lottery rules to their advantage and are like, you know what? If the worst thing that happens this year is we're the 11th best team in the East and we get the same lottery odds as the team that's the fourth worst team in the league, would that be the worst thing for us long-term, considering we're not going to win anything big this year? I have my eyes elsewhere on the biggest loser. I don't think it's Boston. I'm going to give a shout out to Rob Clark because he has my answer, and it's the Lakers.
See, I would thought that at first, but now I've listen, if Knicks slander is number one in this country, Lakers slander is number two in terms of like. Yeah,
Come on. What?
What? Wait. You don't think people like to slander the Lakers?
I think people like to slander the Lakers when the Lakers give themselves reason to be slandered.
So we agree.
I think there are a lot of times where the Lakers have gotten the benefit of the doubt where they maybe aren't that deserving of getting the benefit of the doubt.
Okay. I think media will give them benefit of the doubt. Lakers fans, obviously, but I think the NBA at large will be like, to your point, if the Lakers, it's like when it came to the Knicks, like Knicks may do something wrong that most other teams do, but because the Knicks, it's a referendum on the entire franchise. And I think I don't think the Lakers are losers because I think they're a better team than they were before. Listen, the price for Walker Kessler is nuts. We agree. We agree there, right?
It's not just Walker Kessler. They also paid $100 million combined to Quentin Grimes and Mamu. One of those guys was on a minimum contract last year, and granted, outplayed that minimum contract, but he was still on a minimum contract. And did Quentin Grimes look like a surefire rotation player for a contending team in the playoffs last year to you?
Yes.
Against the Knicks, Quentin, you would have swore on your life. That dude's definitely a top 8 guy on a title team.
I've seen Quentin Grimes play best. Do I believe Quentin Grimes could be the 8th best player on a contender? Yes. And I'm not going to let 4 games against the team that literally is putting belt to ass to everybody change that. Again, is $15 million a little bit too much? Yes. But I'm going to give a shout out to the basketball Illuminati, Big Waz, Zach Harper. They were talking about this, and it's like a lot of times we look at the Prism like, well, they're not going to beat San Antonio, Oklahoma City. It's like, well, there was no move out there that can help make them on paper be better than San Antonio, Oklahoma City. So are the Lakers?
I hate that logic. Because you know what? Minnesota could have said the same thing, and they went out and made the most controversial move of the summer. And there are people that hate that move, and there are people who are like, you know what? I respect it because at least they are making a play. That like the Lakers went and did the most by signing Walker Kessler, Quentin Grimes, and Mamu, Shvili.
My brother in Christ. And we'll get to Jeff after this. My brother
Jeff's deciding which shoulder. Does he want to be the devil on the shoulder or the angel on the shoulder?
My brother in Christ. The Minnesota Timberwolves looked at arguably the biggest losing star player in this league. And was like, I want that. Like, I'm sorry. Like, the fact I am not here to bang the Walker Kessler drum, but like, are the Lakers a better team now than we were before? And are they building a team in the mold of the last team that Luka took to the finals? Yes. Do I love the price for Walker Kessler? No. Could it possible that he can live up to that contract? Absolutely. I don't know if I think they're the biggest loser. I think there's a bigger loser.
My argument is very simple. You have one of the top 5 players in the sport, and you have boxed yourself into what appears at the moment to be a roster that is never going to get home court.
Exactly. One, this is the roster that he wants. This is what he wants.
Oh, well, hold on. If it's the roster that Luka wants.
This is what he wants. He wants a rim running big, surrounded by shooting. They're building. This is what he like. You think he woke up this morning and was like, oh, I didn't know we were interested in Walker Kessler. Great. No, come on.
Of course he wants it. They have no young players to speak of, and they have no draft assets to speak of. And the 3rd best player on their team, is Walker Kessler. Like, that's who's the 4th best player on the team? Jeff, you have to be the deciding factor, and then we got to move on.
I was going to throw a wrench and bring it back to the West and say Portland, because what the hell is going on over there?
Oh, well.
I thought we were talking about teams that matter.
Oh. So what is going on in Portland? Because right now you could make an argument that 4 of the 6, maybe 4 of the 7 most important / most interesting players on their team all play the same position. In Drew Holiday, Dame Lillard, John Morant, and who am I forgetting? The guy they spent the number 3 pick in the draft on 2 years ago, Scoot Henderson. or 3 years ago, whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know what's going on. Bringing it back to y'all Lakers discussion. At least LeBron told them that he was leaving in free agency, and it was something that we all knew that was going to happen. So the actual impact wasn't as severe. I don't know if I can use money as a factor in calling the Lakers the biggest loser, because I reiterate for the millionth time, as long as the Lakers exist, there is going to be a team that wakes up one day and says, how can we help the Lakers to become a contender? Why don't we trade them one of the top 10 players in the game and get a poo-poo platter back? And then we'll be all right.
Max Christie disrespect.
Paul Gasol, Luka Doncic, Shaq, Kobe.
Honestly, in retrospect, and I hate to do this to my brother in Christ, Josh Hart, but in retrospect, Anthony Davis a little bit in terms of what they actually got back for him. Like none of those players, like all the players that they sent there. There's been one All-Star team, I think, or two, because I think Brandon Ingram made the All-Star team this year too. But whatever. But my bad, by the way. No, not that one. I mean, yes, hit the like button. But also I did forget Colin Sexton. So the Lakers did get him too. So
2 years, 19. There's no such thing as a bad 2-year deal. Like,
no, that's fine. No, I'm actually that's the genuine compliment. Okay. So talked about Portland, talked about LA, talked about Atlanta. We have some shout outs in the chat to Orlando. I would put them in the Portland category in terms of like they didn't, I mean, well, except they didn't take on a big contract, but they also didn't do it. So actually, no, sorry, they're in the Atlanta category. They're in the Atlanta category.
So I think they're the biggest loser.
Orlando?
Yeah.
Make the case.
Because to like what Jeff said earlier about I forget which team he said, like, oh, but Atlanta, like this is a team that was everyone's sweetheart dark horse pick to win the East last year, and they've watched the East shuffle around and they've done absolutely nothing. Oh, except let their best player's little brother go.
Older brother.
Older brother, sorry. I think Orlando, like, and you can tell me injuries, whatever, like, is Orlando between the Knicks, Celtics, Sixers, if you take the top 6 teams from last year's playoffs in the East, and you add Miami, who added Giannis, and you add Indiana, who's getting Halliburton back, that's 8 teams. Yeah. 2 of those teams are going to be in the play-in. Yeah. And we haven't gotten to Orlando.
Or Atlanta. Or Charlotte.
Or Atlanta. Well, Charlotte, high 11th. Welcome back.
State Farm official play-in team will retain their sponsorship for another season.
No, they won't. Not if they finish 11th.
Oh, shit, 11th, you said. Oh, damn, that's crazy.
They have to expand the play-in this year just for Charlotte.
Wait, no Atlanta, no Chicago. What happened to the game I love? What is going to happen to the Eastern Conference play-in?
Well, listen, if Miami don't make another move, that's exactly where their ass is going to be.
I can't call Miami a loser of the...
I know. I'm saying
no, they're not a loser.
They're not a loser.
They're going to be a playing team if they don't make any additions to their roster.
Yeah, no,
if this is the team, they're a playing team.
So, I would argue that the Orlando Magic would argue that they made the most important upgrade that they could make, which is that they went from Jamal Mosley to Shawn Sweeney is his name, I think, right?
Yes.
Which, like, we'll see how that works out. I want to give another shout out to the chat because this is another one. This is another one of my contenders. If the Lakers, for me, are the biggest loser in the West, the Detroit Pistons are the biggest loser in the East. Because explain to me how last year's #1 seed got better, and I don't think that you can by just swapping out Tobias Harris for John Collins, and Duncan Robinson is up in the air. I think the award for the most ridiculous contract given out in free agency, with all due respect to Quentin Grimes, once a Knick, always a Knick, I think it has to go to Kevin Huerter, who did not play basketball in the playoffs and was rewarded with 3 years and $30 million. Explain that one to me. And like, say what you want about Tobias Harris, old man Tobias Harris, he was an important piece for their team. And like John Collins, has some nice traits, but like, I don't have the Pistons as a top 6 seed right now. I don't know if either of you guys feel differently about that.
Go ahead, Jeff.
If they're a top 6, They're not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because let's well, you know what? Let's get negative. Knicks, Raptors, Cavs. Who did I have as my? Oh, Sixers. Excuse me.
We haven't
Top
touched on
4.
them yet.
Yep.
You did not say the Pacers yet.
Boston, and Detroit. Enjoy that 5-6 fight. Because one of you is going to lose that spot to Miami and going to be in the play-in.
You didn't mention Indiana. I don't think you.
Oh, you know what? Detroit, Boston, Indiana, Miami. Have fun fighting for those last 2 seeds, and don't be surprised if the Boston Celtics are a play-in team.
Okay, so
enough is enough. No more plot armor.
No
you
more.
are barren to the realm. Sir, I've gazed upon many a soldier, many a knight of this realm, and you are not the first that I've seen that wear no clothes. You are naked, sir. And if I will have the temerity to tell you, when no one else will, you, sir, are butt naked.
Hold on. As of now, ESPN has this is the depth chart that they have for the Boston Celtics. You ready for this? Starters: Derek White, Baylor Shireman. What's that you said about being naked?
Oh,
literally a Game of Thrones character for a name generator player. Okay, keep going.
Paul George, Jason Tatum, who somehow is listed day to day. It's July 6th, and he's listed as day to day. And Mitchell Robinson shed a tear. And then off the bench, for some reason they have Peyton Pritchard listed as the backup point guard and shooting guard, and Hugo Gonzalez they have listed as a third string player. I'll go ahead and slide in Hugo as the backup 2 guard slide. And then Sam Hauser, backup 3, Jordan Walsh, backup 4, and then Namus Keita, backup 5. Look, and then Mike Conley is their number 11 guy. Look, they have, that's 10 NBA players I just named.
Yes.
Bravo.
Yes.
NBA team has NBA players.
Enjoy.
Bravo.
More at 11.
This is the plot armor, Jeff. Hey,
I'm
they
telling
got 10
you,
NBA
bro,
players.
it is gilded. Gilded plot armor. Green and gold gilded plot armor, bro. I've never seen this before. And you know, and I'm not even calling them whack. It's just I've seen similar teams with similar builds get ranked lower. These sports books want you to make donations. There are plenty of GoFundMes and charitable organizations if you want to donate money. Bet that Boston to win the finals at your own peril.
Well, you know, Boston has
to win the East.
Or to win
the Atlantic.
Yeah,
but
whatever. It's no.
The books reflect what the people think, and the people shaped by the Boston media mafia machine will always it's the plot armor is unreal. Like to the point where Tom Haberstroh, who I love, is talking about paying Pritchard's mini Brunson.
Well, that was
he was the Brunson leap quote. Haberstroh.
Yeah. The money. Oh, the mini Brunson. Yeah, that was Haberstroh. He put that in writing or on his internet.
Everybody can make the Jalen Brunson leap until it's time to make the Jalen Brunson leap.
Listen. By the way, speaking of plot armor, let me get this off right here. Derek White is the most overrated player in the National Basketball Association.
Man,
I'm going to say this again. Derek White is the most overrated player in the National Basketball Association. If you look up the term jumping the shark, you will find a picture of him shooting 26% from 3.
I'm looking up the numbers right now too, because we want to be fair to Derek White here.
No, why do we have to be fair? There's plenty of people who be fair to Derek White on their own time. Let them do that. Listen, and overrated
33% last year. I'll have you know.
What about in the playoffs? I think it's like 26% in the playoffs.
So in the playoffs, Derek White last year in the playoffs, 27.3%.
Overrated doesn't mean he sucks. He's bad. Overrated simply means people think you are better than you are. And the flip side of the analytics saying well, one guy saying that Jaylen Brown was the seventh best player on their team on the Boston Celtics is the fact that I had to hear people tell me, and I believe Brad Stevens said this, that Derek White had a better season than Jaylen Brown. And Derek White is allowed to do the things he does because he plays next to guys who have to do things he can't, like Jason Tatum, and wait for it, Jaylen Brown. Analytics is good. I watch basketball. You want to talk about, you know what? Man, you want to say Quentin Grimes sucked in that series? What about Derek White? I watched Derek White piss down his leg for an entire series and then be told he's better than Jaylen Brown. And on no planet is Jaylen Brown a worse basketball player than Derek White. It's just it's ridiculous. And to all you analytics people out there, if you wonder why you get the smoke, it's takes like this where people will try to tell you, I'm just tired of this Derek White. I'm tired of it.
Wait, did he have the yips and not Sam Merrill? Well, did I have this wrong all along? Was it actually Derek White and not Sam Merrill? Sam Merrill was the canary in the coal mine?
So the issue,
wow.
if you're gonna make the Brown thing about the contract, in addition, pairing the contract with the stats and the analytics, you can't then look at Derek White and his 27 point whatever percent from three. When your 3-point percentage is lower than the amount of millions of dollars you get paid per year, and he's due $33 million a year for the next 3 seasons on that extension that ends with a player option, that's a problem. And so, but people are more willing to write off his playoff shooting struggles as like, oh, he'll be fine. And nobody's willing to write off anything for Jaylen Brown. My question that I've been like dying to ask you guys, and the reason why I've been really looking forward to
real quick on that, John. Hold your question just to put a ball on the Derek White thing. He's the avatar for the spreadsheet soldiers. You know why they give him a pass? Because regression to the mean, and the numbers will somehow, some way even out without looking at the context of it all. Like Shawn said perfectly, he was able to do the things that he does and accentuate himself as being a superstar role player with superstar basketball players around him. One of them went out and his jumper was all of a sudden broken. One. So now you're telling me with Tatum there and not Brown, Derek White is all of a sudden going to become capital D Derek White again? I mean, this is also a guy that a lot of analytics folks were pushing to be an all-star. And I understood what they were saying. And even the year that he didn't get it, I'm like, okay, you can make a case. I'm not going to front. But there's more to the game than those numbers, man. And I think the minute we understand that and can properly contextualize it, we can have better conversations about basketball. He is an awesome player, and he's awesome for the team that he's on. The way people talk about him, maybe the Sixers should have traded for Derek White instead of Jaylen Brown. That's the way people talk about him, or some people talk about him. And it's like, all right, y'all, we've seen plenty of examples about folks who get freed and are still in jail when they go to their next team. So, yeah.
It's a great call, and it's kind of ironic that those two guys are on the same team. And ironic and maybe not coincidence, to your point that you just to Shawn's point that he just made. Derek White's life is made a lot easier because of the supposed losing player that he has next to him. The question, and this is going to tie right into everything you just said, the question that I've been dying to ask both of you guys, because if you're going to call it a bad trade, well, there's two ways you call it a bad trade. One, say you just should have hung on to him, which there may be stuff behind the scenes in Boston that we don't know about. The second way you call it a bad trade is if you could highlight a team that at least should be kicking themselves because they did not come to the forefront with a better deal. And I want to ask you guys, and we've not talked about this ahead of time. I've thought about it. I can't find an obvious team. Who's the team that should be kicking themselves because they did not make a deal that Boston would have found more palatable? I have some ideas. We've mentioned a few of them on the show. Shawn, you have one off the top of your head?
Yes, Detroit.
Okay. That's one of the teams that I had.
Like, who's the second? Like, they're gonna they're gonna run this back. I saw someone in the comments talking about they added Isaiah Joe, whoop-de-damn do, and wake me when Dennis Jenkins, Dennis Jenkins is open right now from 3. Thank you very much. We've said all the time, the guy I had for MVP of the league was Cade Cunningham because he has to do everything, and he's still gonna have to do everything because John Collins and Dennis Jenkins are not going to help him do less in terms of like secondary creation, unless Dennis Jenkins takes a leap of all leaps that anything is possible. Because listen, I root for the team of the Finals MVP, Jalen Brunson, right? But I think knowing for that price and they have all their assets to trade, yeah, they could have like the way that the Celtics signing Mitchell Robinson not only added to their team, but took something away from the Knicks who used to kick them in the teeth. Like you could have made yourself better at the expense of a conference rival that you're trying to jump over. And they're too busy hoping that Jalen Duren will take their quote unquote below market deal.
So this is another reason why they could be considered the loser of the East at the very least in free agency, especially since, and again, I haven't heard anybody talk about this. They paid, I forget what they paid in picks, but they salary dumped Isaiah Stewart, who is allegedly a core piece of their identity, their culture, all this bullshit. That was a $15 million salary that could have theoretically been included. Now, you could say, well, maybe Boston wouldn't have wanted him. Maybe they specifically wanted Mitchell Robinson. But they had Isaiah Stewart as a salary outgoing. They have Karis LeVert. That's almost $15 million. There's $30 million right there. And then you go down the line, you have, Ron Holland and Marcus Sasser and so on and so forth. There was a trade there in terms of salary that you could have put together. And then it's just about packaging picks. And based on the trade that the Celtics eventually made, I would have thought they would have looked very kindly upon a package built around future Detroit draft assets. But they didn't kick the tires. And then the other team I think you could talk about, which is the other one that came to mind, is Atlanta. And shout out to DJ Crayola in the chat who mentioned the same. Because if you're Atlanta, unless you're going to do what I figured they're doing, which is not taking a step back, but staying on the treadmill for a year, which is apparently what they're doing. Why not? Why not make a play for a guy who, and isn't Jaylen Brown from Atlanta?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. It was a no-brainer. Yeah. But the fact is you got the brainless operating no-brain activity and it just doesn't correlate. The numbers don't match up to actual real-world experience. Funny how that works. This is complacency all around. I think the flattened lottery odds, contribute. The general manager and the owner and the Hawks are like, we're not going to get gassed. We beat this team 2 times. We beat the Knicks twice in the playoffs and beat them by 1 point. Combined 2 points. We're not getting hyped. We're not moving all in yet. Let's wait out this carnage in the East and see where we land. Maybe one of these guys that's been moving locations will want to move locations again. So we'll just wait it out. And if it works out for them, it works out for them. Same thing with Detroit. You are banking on Isaiah Joe being him after leaving the Thunder in a bigger role. You're hoping that he can scale up, because at this point, shouldn't he start?
Isaiah Joe? Well, they need a shooter to start, and I mean, maybe they think it's Kevin Huerter. What's going on? We don't know what's going on with Duncan Robinson.
It's so what? Cade, Joe, Asar.
But none of these guys answer their fundamental question, which is that they have a non-shooting 5 who apparently is at odds with the organization at the moment. They have another core piece in Asar Thompson who allegedly is untouchable, and yet if you have him on the court with Duren, like we saw what happened to your spacing, and you don't have a secondary creator, it's a recipe for disaster. And I get it. John Collins is a nice percentage from 3 for several years running now, but he doesn't take a lot of threes. So, and by the way, is that really what you want? Do you want John Collins out there attempting 5-6 threes a game? But I'm not sure if that's what he wants. I'm not sure if that's what they want.
He's gonna have to.
What?
He's gonna have to.
Well, someone's gonna have to. Can I just give one more shout out to one more team, and then we have a super chat, and then we'll get to two other things.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the most anonymous team in terms of like they have flown completely under the radar of this NBA free agency period, and why is it not the Houston Rockets?
That's the one.
Why do they get a pass for sitting on their fucking hands and doing nothing, and yet they have a team that lost in 5 games to the Lakers without Luka Doncic and without Austin Reeves for some of that series?
They got gentlemen swept by
LeBron and the Lake Show girls.
Yo,
the Laker girls, LeBron and Marcus Smart got them out the paint.
We had to hear for 3 months last season about how the Rockets were right there with the Thunder and the Nuggets. Those are the 3 best teams in the league if you listen to some people. For months, plural. They did not a blessed thing.
Was it months? I feel like
it was a few months. We were hearing that shit in November.
It was until
Thanksgiving,
New Year's Eve. So I can give you more than that because, like, I think by January. But to your point, they had a lot of smoke blown up their rear ends, and they've done, and including, like, I don't know how they've gone from, oh, they might have to get rid of Kevin Durant because Get Off My Dickerson is tweeting all this crazy stuff about them, right? And they've gone from that about the chemistry and everything like that too. It's like, the other team I would say is maybe Denver, although I guess they're waiting on this.
Well, it's a TBD with Payne Watson. We'll see what happens.
So let me ask you a question then, John and Jeff also. Who would you rather be? Houston, who did nothing, or the Lakers, who did everything that you don't like?
I'd rather be the team that has Luka Doncic on it, I think, is the short answer. But that's almost why they're a loser for me, because you have Luka Doncic, and this is what you did. Like Houston, I mean, then again, Houston has picks coming down the pike. They have Almond Thompson. They have they have 32-year-old Fred VanVleet coming back. That's their big addition. I mean,
but you know what? They have Luka, Reeves, Grimes, Kessler, and who's there for?
They have Mamu as of right now. I think functions better as a 5, but
that is the best combination of archetype of players that you want around Luka, right? Shooters. You have 5 out now, essentially, right? Well, 4.5 if you count Wade Kessler. Like I know his volume, I don't think is that crazy.
Yeah, no,
but still,
that's more theoretical than actual.
Right, theoretical. Yeah. But you have 4.5 shooters. You have rim runners. Depending on what type of defense they play, I know I saw DJ and a bunch of people talking about how Grimes was at his best when he was the point of attack defender. I don't think you got to twist Luka's arm for that. Right. So and him and JJ are connected. Like they worked out together in the offseason. So JJ's familiar with him. So he's going to I think JJ put these guys in the best position to win. I'm just saying, like after the Spurs, after OKC and after the Spurs, which unpopular opinion, they are the class in the West, but I don't think it's as solid as people are making it out to be.
Who? OKC or San Antonio? Both. Okay. Yeah, it's fine.
I don't think there's no more sure things in the West. The sure thing is that there is a clear hierarchy. What's unsure is whether or not the field can overcome the 2 faves, right? But with the Spurs, we're assuming a lot.
Yes,
we're assuming leaps. We're assuming maturity. We're assuming mental fortitude, which I got killed for saying that I thought that the Knicks had the mental advantage. Then game 4 happened. Game 3 happened. And the shot. And then game 4, the chaser. And then game 5 was the hangover. Right? So it is what it is. And then with OKC, you've been beat.
Yeah.
You're no longer unbeatable. So now what?
Get healthy and get Chet Holmgren, a sports psychologist or psychiatrist or whatever.
I think Oklahoma City is better than San Antonio. That doesn't mean that San Antonio can't beat Oklahoma City. I think full strength Oklahoma City. Listen, I said this I said this in group chats. I think if Minnesota were fully healthy, they might have got San Antonio out the paint. So to Jeff's point, a lot of things are assumed that Dylan, because people think all progression is linear. So Dylan Harper is going to be an all-star next year, and Stephon Castle is not just going to get better, and Victor Wembanyama will suddenly figure out how to play 34 minutes a game in a regular season and not affect his body. Like, it's a lot of assumptions. I think, we've said it all the time. This league is way more wide open than people have you think. Hello, the Knicks are NBA champions. And I'm not just penciling. I'm just not writing in pen OKC 1, San Antonio 2. If I had to write one in pen, I'm writing Oklahoma City. I'm not writing San Antonio.
All I know is this: the narrative that I am crediting you with starting on this show 10 months ago, 9 months ago, whatever it was, that the East is not getting enough respect. You want to talk about you should have bought stock in that back in October? Because if you look right now at 1 through 10 in the East versus 1 through 10 in the West, it's not a I don't think it's a conversation.
It's not, but people will lie to you and spit their narratives and tell you why Houston is better than the Knicks or even Cleveland. And for all, we love to talk our shit about Cleveland. If Cleveland played Houston in the series, why is Houston just like mopping them to the side?
Cleveland would be a 2 seed in the West. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
I mean,
Cleveland
3 at the very least, but yeah.
At the very least.
But
Cleveland is built to win in the regular season.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Cleveland would be a 2 seed in the West.
The East only good on paper. What's the West good on? I'm sorry.
Cardboard.
What was it? Oak tag.
Okay.
They're good on oak tag.
The reigning, defending NBA champions reside where?
And NBA Cup winners, the double champions.
2 of the last 3. What did Nick Rice say? I'm tired of hearing about the big bad West. I'm tired.
It might have been 3 of the last 3 had it not been.
Hallie's Achilles is the reason why it's not 3 out of 3. The East had a better head-to-head matchup against the top 4 in the East, had a better head-to-head against the top 4. 9 out of the 10 playoff teams in the East had a winning record against the West. The West, not so much. Bro, we are not good in the West anymore.
Bro, they used to
we
tell
are
us,
no longer good in the West, I fear.
They used to tell us when the 10 seed in the East had a losing record and the 10 seed in the West had a winning record, this is why the West is better. But now when the Warriors are 37-45 at the 10 seed and Miami's 43-39, that's because what the competitive the West is. That's why gold is
the bottom 5 teams have been tanking. So
get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Why is the West dog? How many times does Denver get to lose in the first round? Talking about plot armor before we're like, you know what? Maybe they're not as good. Listen, they won a championship in 2023. You cannot take that away from them. But just you keep penciling in these teams. Don't talk to. All right, here's a perfect example. Atlanta plays Phoenix in the playoff series. Why is Phoenix better?
I was about to say, wait till this year when the 7th seed in the West is 42-40, and the 7th seed in the East is pushing 50 wins. Because I really do think that's in play.
Don't talk to me about Phoenix. Don't talk to me about the Clippers. Stop.
We have some super chats, and then we have a very important statement to read, and then we have to make some LeBron predictions. And we got to do all this in the next 10 minutes. So, David Crockett, our first ever super chat here in NBA Takedown. Shout out to you, David, and shout out to the more than 2,000 people checking us out right now. As a reminder, I said this on the last episode. I'll say again now. We're moving YouTube full-time only. So if you're someone that is listening to this after the fact on the audio feed, go subscribe on the NBA Takedown YouTube channel. Mr. Crockett, my guy. I can't say it any better than Jeff J just did. Reanalytics stats seek to standardize across contexts, and that's good. No one can see every play, but stats are not a license to ignore contexts.
That's a freaking bar. That's a bar right there, David Crockett.
And then we got one more from David. Last one from me. 3 mics in a booth is almost always one too many unless everyone can pass and shoot. Love the great chemistry. Keep it coming, gents.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
David's been my guy for a long time. He is, I've said this to him on many occasions. I'll say it again. Nobody brings the heat consistently like he does. Never a bad comment from David.
Agreed.
And then Matty Heads. If LeBron doesn't announce he's going back to Cleveland on the anniversary of the decision, he's doing it at his Fanatics Fest Day 1 panel. Right. I'm banking on the Fanatics Fest announcement.
Yo, Fanatics Fest is the 17th of July. It's,
Yeah.
it's, the 16th of July. He's getting
16th, 17th, 18th, 19th.
Oh my goodness. No, well, no, I was gonna say he'll announce it, and then it'll lead up to I don't know.
Well, you know what happened with KD. I was the one who had the video that
Yes.
all the media people were asking for.
But very similar to KD, we all know that KD knew when he got on that stage. So LeBron, yeah. But yeah, 7-10. It'll be 7-10.
You think 7? You say 7-10, Jeff. What do you say? Fanatics Fest or 7-10?
What's his incentive for announcing on Fanatics Fest and not on his own platform? Like for real, unless he's been
What's his platform?
incentivized, whatever he chooses, social media, mind the game,
Yeah.
whatever he
All
wants
right.
to
If
do.
if it's a mind the game announcement, that makes more sense to me than Fanatics Fest.
The only thing I could think of is if somehow Fanatics incentivized him to announce it at Fanatics.
True. By the way, July 8th is not July 10th.
Okay, so we're getting pretty close. So
Yeah.
perfect transition. Our predictions. Where does LeBron end up? Shawn, you go first.
I honestly have no idea because I just can't see him going to the Sixers. I can't see it. I'm gonna say Cleveland.
Okay, Jeff.
Oh come on!
No, you're not saying that. You're so full. Of I know.
No, but seriously, it's Cleveland, bro. It ain't Miami. I could tell you that much. It's definitely not Miami. I do not understand. Honestly, no jokes. I do not understand the rationale for going to any other team that isn't a team that he already has history with, other than the New York Knicks. Other than. There's no other historical tie to any of these other teams. Golden State, it sounds good for narrative-wise. The script writers are frothing at the mouth to get that. I don't think that's happening. Sixers, why would LeBron go to the Sixers if he could just go to Cleveland? Honestly, he could just go to Cleveland. Like going to the Sixers looks more like a ring chase than even going to Golden State. Right? So that's one. And I do agree with Rich Paul that had the Knicks not won the title, we're not even discussing if. We're discussing when. Like it would be between the Cavs and the Knicks if the Knicks didn't win the title. And there's so much that would have to happen for him to join the Knicks that I think both sides would be exhausted. So process of elimination, I think it's Cleveland. And what I mean by both sides would be exhausted is you heard the narrative that which Paul said the only way that Bron could join the Knicks is if Jalen Brunson calls him up and they have a conversation. I'll amend that. LeBron got to call Brunson. Brunson don't got to call LeBron. LeBron got to call Brunson. The NBA is under new management. And LeBron would have to call Brunson as a respect to it being Brunson's team. And he has to make the formal request to join Brunson's team. That's the first call. Then the second call is to call Hart on three-way and have that conversation about the starting lineup.
That's the more important call. That's the more important call.
Brunson got to talk to his man, or all three. But actually, LeBron got to talk to Hart and explain what it is. And Hart got to keep it real with himself. And would you be happy with that? So he needs a two-factor authorization to even be clear to join that squad. I'm already exhausted. I feel like I'm watching Love Island again. I'm already exhausted. So
it's not going to be the Knicks.
And remember, LeBron got Josh Hart traded. So
what? My prediction is Cleveland, but I'm going to back it up with a quick question I want you guys to answer. What's the only thing LeBron James cares about more than narrative?
Winning. Money.
But the only thing, yeah.
He's not going to play somewhere for the mid-level exception. And you know what we haven't heard amongst all the news and rumors of the last week and change, or actually it's been 2 weeks since I think we first learned that Harden would be back. would be back on a rejiggered extension to Cleveland. You know what we haven't heard? We haven't heard the financials of Harden's new 2-year deal. We have an idea of what it's going to be. Why might we not have heard the financials? Because as of right now, without Harden's contract on the books, because again, we don't know what it's going to be, the Cleveland Cavaliers are about $28 million under the first apron, again, without Harden on the books. Why is that important? Because if you acquire a player via sign and trade, you are capped, hard capped at the first apron. The Cleveland Cavaliers currently have Max Strus on their books for $16.6 million. They can do a sign and trade or have Max Strus be involved in a sign and trade in which LeBron comes back. And if that is on the table, one would think that James Harden would be amenable to basically taking enough of a pay cut to have them accommodate that LeBron and James sign and trade and still sign. I think they would have to, in that case, sign 2 other players to the roster to get to the minimum of 14. So that's where I'm at.
Can I amend my answer? I think it's Golden State. And I think it's
Golden State.
Golden
I have 3
State.
different answers. There we go.
So I think it's Golden because I think about Cleveland. Like, okay, let's put aside the fact that LeBron and James Harden together make absolutely no sense whatsoever. But we've seen this movie before. Hi, Russell Westbrook. If I'm James Harden, I'm taking a pay. The only way I would take a pay cut, especially after the whole Daryl Morey's a liar fiasco, is if I get more years on the back end. But I believe because of James Harden's age, you can only sign 2 years. I think after age 36, you can only sign 2-year deals. Like you can't. They couldn't even give him like a 4-year deal and what have you.
No,
So,
Harden already announced it's 2 years.
because I think by the CBA he can only I think there's something in CBA either at age 36 or age 38 you can.
I think
you
it's
can't
the
sign
age
longer
30.
than
I think it's 38, but I don't quote me on that.
Okay, yeah, and I forget how.
Well,
James-
my other answer would have been Golden State, and that the whole song and dance is a way to put pressure on the Warriors to trade for Anthony Davis. Which
So hold on. So you don't think that he actually would sign for the vet minimum? You think he would? He needs at least like 9-10 million.
I think he told us all. What year was it? 2014. I'm
Yeah,
done
he's
taking
done taking-
discounts. You
well, he's
his
gonna
fans
take one
stink?
now.
I mean,
He ain't getting a max deal now, so he's taking.
Yeah, but
discount.
I just don't think he has it in him to sign for something that small of a contract.
Minimum.
That's my 2 cents. All right. We got to get out of here. So sadly, this is very, very sad. We will not get to read the statement from Milwaukee Bucks ownership, general manager John Horst. Dear Bucks fans, about the departure of Giannis Antetokounmpo. We'll have to save that for next time, fellas, because I really wanted to hear Jeff read this entire thing in the Giannis voice. We'll do that next time. NBA Takedown Patreon coming soon. Anything else before we get out of here?
Harry Kane is a gunman and should be respected. That's all I gotta say. Harry Kane is that dude. That's all I gotta say.
England?
Yes.
Okay.
Shout out to everyone who didn't buy into the hype and actually and decided to bet England money line. Thank you.
yeah,
Including
that was,
myself.
I'm sorry. That was crazy. I'll say, enjoy irrational overreaction to Summer League week.
Oh.
Because boy, there are going to be songs sung about some of these performances that you are about to see.
I got 2 rules for Summer League. Rule number 1, do not overreact to Summer League. Rule number 2, do not overreact to Summer League. Rule number 3, Knicks fans, Summer League does not matter because you won the championship. We don't have to do this anymore. We don't.
How dare you? I'm very excited to see what Pacome Tadier does in year 3 of Summer League. Very excited.
I can't wait for the over-analysis of the first Diawara game.
Oh my god!
You see, this is why he can't be a rotation player, because he can't defeat the Austin Toros
I will bet you any amount of money if Tyler Nickel goes out there and shoots 6 of 10 from deep in his first summer league game.
Oh, I'm going crazy.
I'm doing the post game. There will be someone, and it may or may not be Hushzu, who will be like, "How are we going to fit this player in our rotation next year? Opening night. I'm sorry, Ojaninobi. The tip-in, that's a thing of the past. You are capped at 28 minutes because we need to make room for Tyler Nickel."
Wait until you get the calls for Tyler Kolek and Nickel to be the backcourt of the future.
What's the nickname? Tyler Kolek.
It's Tyler Nickel. It's nickel and dimes.
Double Tyler Nickel?
Nickel and dimes.
Nickel and dimes.
There you go.
Nickel and dimes. That's good. We'll keep workshopping that. All right, we got to get out of here. Jeff, Shawn, you guys are amazing. We'll be back with another show before we maybe have a little bit of a summer break. In the meantime, you know what to do if you appreciate your boys. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, the whole thing. And thanks for spending part of your Monday afternoon with us. We will talk to you soon. Peace out.